Another race we're going to be watching closely Tuesday is the primary for state superintendent, a job that got very political in recent years. KOCO's Kylie Thomas sat down with this year's Republican candidates.
The role of state superintendent has become one of the most visible and controversial jobs in Oklahoma. The next person elected will take over a role that's faced years of public scrutiny and political tension. For many of the candidates, that starts with rebuilding trust with teachers and school leaders.
I'm not a publicity seeker. That's not my style.
I think my number one goal is to not be on the top fold of any major newspaper.
Oh, that would be polar opposites. I don't need any additional acclaims.
I want to be seen as someone who rolls up their sleeves and goes to work. There will be times that I will be highly visible, but it will be more to say what great things we're doing in public schools.
So we need to get back to education.
If the State Department is doing their job well, they really should blend into the background.
While many of the candidates say they would do the job differently, they acknowledge rebuilding relationships with teachers may be one of their biggest challenges. I asked what their message is to Oklahoma teachers. Representative Tony Hassenbeck says her experience in the classroom helps her understand the challenges teachers face and asks they give her a call before raising judgment.
I want teachers to not get mad at me till they talk to me. That's what I've always told all of my constituents. It's if you hear something or you see something or somebody tells you about a bill, call me first and let's talk about it, because sometimes we read things with negative eyes instead of positive eyes.
Dr. Robert Franklin wants to strengthen the teacher pipeline. He says teachers have too often been blamed for Oklahoma's education challenges. His message, don't give up.
We've not had a seasoned, tested educational leader in that role in over 35 years. Our outcomes have continued to slide. I think it's time for a change. So my message to teachers is, don't listen to me, don't trust me. Let's just collaborate, lock arms, and begin to push forward and start digging our way out.
Candidate Deborah Herlihy says helping Oklahoma teachers starts with increasing pay, including offering some of her own salary and merit pay.
And I want to take half of my salary and apply that to teachers and apply that to special education teachers as well, because we need to establish good quality teachers right now, and we need to get them focused and we need to get them stay.
Rural Superintendent Dr. John Cox says supporting Oklahoma educators starts at the top. He believes the next state superintendent should focus less on criticizing teachers and more on championing their work in the classroom.
We need to empower them, we need to put trust back in them again, and we need to honor them. And so respect is the biggest thing. You know, the majority of the teachers, like in every profession, the majority of teachers that we have are great people. They have a servant's heart, and it's my job to go out and really promote what they do.
Candidate Dr. James Taylor says he would be a supportive state superintendent with a special focus on helping new teachers succeed by offering guidance.
We do a grave disservice to our first-year teachers by basically throwing them to the wolves. And while they may know their subject matter, they need some help with classroom management so that they know how this stuff is going to be done.
Senator Adam Pugh's message to teachers is one of gratitude. He says he's made a point of visiting schools across the state to hear their perspectives firsthand.
I've spent probably more time in schools in the last 10 years, maybe than any legislator at the Capitol. Every Friday, inside a school, inside a classroom, not just in my district, really traveling around the state. And I did that just because I wanted to learn. I wanted to hear the perspective of the teacher and see what was happening. And also, I think I value the fact that schools are different around the state.
Candidate William Crozier of Union City did not respond to KOCO's request for an interview. This is Crozier's third run for state superintendent after campaigns in 2006 and 2022. Across the candidates, policy ideas differ, but each believe the first step is regaining the trust of Oklahoma teachers. Voters will decide which direction they want to take in the primary June 16th. The winner advances to the November ballot against the winner on the Democratic ballot. You can hear from those candidates on KOCO.com. Reporting, Kylie Thomas, KOCO 5 News.
In fact, let's hear a little bit from them right now. On the other side of this race, a pair of Democrats. Former El Reno Superintendent Craig McVeigh says positive change needs a long-term vision and putting our money where our kids are.
We start there and we put a plan in place. That's going to take a huge investment up front.
I am running uphill both ways, barefoot in the snow, and I'm happy to do that. I feel like that Oklahomans that I've talked to in all 77 counties are ready for change.
The other Democrat in this race is Dr. Janetta Marshall, a former criminal justice teacher, DHS investigator, and member of the Tulsa School Board.
I'm looking to be a change agent. We really have to value our educators. We really need to pay them, our support workers as well. And then we have to really look at how we're evaluating education.
There's a pair of Democrats also in the spotlight as they push for a chance to take on Republican Congresswoman Stephanie Bice in November. Bice took the 5th Congressional District from Democrats 6 years ago, and you know the Democrats would love to have it back. So KOCO's Shanice Hopkins spoke to those candidates about why they believe they are the better choice.
From pressure at the pump to higher grocery prices, the rising cost of living are raising the question, can Democrats flip Oklahoma's 5th Congressional District? But before November, voters first have to decide who they want to take on Republican Congresswoman Stephanie Bice. Bice has held the seat since 2021 and runs unopposed. On this primary ballot, iron worker and union president Trey Martin.
I'm a working class guy, I come from everyday struggles.
And longtime educator and former Teacher of the Year, Gina Nelson.
I'm working class and I'm a mom.
Both candidates pointing to many of the same concerns, but they say their experience sets them apart. They both tell me those issues hitting close to home for them too.
My campaign is all about representing the majority of Oklahomans, which is the working class, right? These are the people that need the help the most. They're the people that keep this country running.
Education and public education in particular is under attack. And last but not least is definitely the cost of living. We're all feeling it right now.
For Martin, healthcare is one of the most personal issues in this race, alongside his push to represent blue-collar workers.
Healthcare is something that's really close to me. My wife, several years ago, she got really sick. She dropped down to about 70 pounds, and it was really hard on us. Oklahomans and a lot of Americans across the country are going through much worse things than we did without coverage or even less coverage. So that was a big motivator for me.
Martin entered the race in April. His campaign largely built on kitchen table issues. He tells me if Democrats want to win, they have to appeal to everyone.
They call them kitchen table issues, right? Affordability, gas prices, food prices, rent, health care. That's what's keeping Americans down, and that's what I focus my thoughts on. This cycle, they're voting for me because they know that I represent them, not in a partisan way, but in a way that really means something to them.
If elected, his top priorities include healthcare reform and giving power back to working families.
Medicare for all. That's a huge thing for me. Also, I'm really big on campaign finance reform because I feel like if we didn't have these corporate PAC interests coming in and buying our politicians, we wouldn't have a lot of these problems that we're having today.
And for Gina Nelson, her top issues are education, healthcare, and the cost of living. The former teacher spent 16 years in education and entered the race last year. Nelson brings in name recognition from her 2022 run for state superintendent, losing to Ryan Walters.
Everything from, losing Medicaid, losing Medicare, not being able to pay their insurance, losing their insurance because prices going up because of the big, beautiful bill. But even across the country right now, education and public education in particular is under attack. And last but not least is definitely the cost of living. We're all feeling it right now.
Nelson tells me too much corporate power is the root of these issues. She wants to push for policies that restore funding for public services.
So one of the things that we must do is pass a reconciliation bill so that we can overturn the big, beautiful bill and restore funding back to healthcare, back to those agencies that have been hit so hard.
While both candidates share many of the same concerns, they're making different cases to voters about who should advance to November.
If you want someone who understands the struggles, the cost of living, and is right there with you, then vote for me. If you want someone who is going to work hard and be held accountable, then vote for me.
I think voters should choose me because I came right from where you are right now. I'm still where you are right now. Right. I'm still working full time, a lot of times living paycheck to paycheck like the constituents here.
The winner will go on to race Congresswoman Stephanie Bice in November as Democrats once again try to flip this key district. The primaries are on June 16th. Reporting in OKC, Shanice Hopkins, KOCO 5 News.